Dolphins are on a bye, so I thought, let's go back and see how things have changed in one of my videos. What is up, AFC East? Yes, this video is kind of targeted towards the AFC East. If you guys remember, in the offseason, I ranked the AFC East position by position and my thoughts on where they ranked going into the 2022 season. And what I'm going to do in this video is I am going to essentially look back and see where they rank mid-season. I was initially just going to let the season ride out, and at the end of the year, see where I would differentiate the rankings, if that's English. But I thought, let's do mid-season, and let's do the end of the season. So I have the rankings for before the season started, and now I have the rankings for now that we're midway of the season. Let's see how big of a difference I was. I'm either real right or I'm real wrong. So we're going to start with quarterback. In the preseason, I had Josh Allen 1. I had Mac Jones 2. And if you go back and you listen to the main point of why I had Mac Jones 2, it was what worried me was, could Tua keep up with these other quarterbacks when he gets banged up? My biggest knock, the only reason I put Mac above Tua was because of durability issues, right? And then I had Tua 3, and I had Zach Wilson 4. Well, now we're at the midseason point. I still have Josh Allen 1, but I have Tua Tagovailoa, a solid number 2. At one point, I honestly thought he could be number 1. You look at Tua's stats, right? 2,265 yards, 18 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 71 completion percentage, and 118.4 passer rating. Josh Allen, 2,733 yards, so Tua's off behind him by about like 400 something yards. 20 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, a 64.5 completion percentage, and a passer rating of 96.6. There is a very big case that Tua Tagovailoa is number 1 when it comes to the quarterbacks. But Josh Allen still has those intangibles, and that's why I'll still be like, all right, Josh Allen, you can stay at number 1 for now. We'll see what it might change by the end of the season. But I got Josh Allen 1. I got Tua Tagovailoa definitely 2, possibly 1. I got Zach Wilson 3. He hasn't been doing too great. 1,202 passing yards. Again, he didn't play his full season, but neither did Tua Tagovailoa, and he has almost double. 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, a 57.5 completion percentage, and a passer rating of 75.5. The reason I have him above Mac Jones, who I have at 4, 1,140 yards, 4 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 66.1 completion percentage, and a 66.1 passer rating. And you could say, well, dog, Mac Jones didn't play all the seasons. He got benched at one point. He got hurt with his ankle. He didn't play full season. Neither did Wilson at this point. Yeah, neither did Tua. Tua missed about 3 3/4 of a game. And look at his stats compared to the other two. The reason I have Mac at 4 and Wilson at 3, the interceptions. Mac has more interceptions and the passer rating. But yeah, so start of the season, the only difference is Tua is definitely number 2 and very possibly number 1. I think when we get to the end of the season and we essentially see where we're at, I wouldn't be surprised if Tua is the number 1 quarterback in the NFL. Then we shift to running back. Now, before the season started, I had it with the Patriots being the 1st ranked. I had the Buffalo Bills being the 2nd ranked. I had the New York Jets being the 3rd ranked, and I had the Miami Dolphins being the 4th ranked when it comes to running backs. Let's see where they're ranked at the midseason point. Now, number 1 is still the New England Patriots. Stevenson has 618 yards, 4 touchdowns, 4.8 yards a carry. If he stays on this pace, he'll probably break about 1,200 rushing yards, 8 touchdowns. He's still doing good. But my number 2 team is the Miami Dolphins. Raheem Mostert, 546 yards, 3 touchdowns, 4.6 yards a carry. And if you add Jeff Wilson, he's only been with the team for 10 days, 170 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, but he's averaging 6.5 yards a carry. But Raheem Mostert, second among the running backs in the AFC East with rushing yards. So Miami Dolphins are definitely number 2. Number 3 is the New York Jets. Breece Hall, before he got injured, 463 yards, 4 touchdowns, 5.8 yards a carry. And Carter, who's taking over for him, 330 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3.9 yards a carry. They still have a good run game going on there. And the Buffalo Bills are 4th. Singletary, 394 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 4.3 yards a carry. Yes, you can add in Josh Allen, but it still doesn't beat Mostert and Stevenson. But I'm looking at the running back position, not the run game necessarily. So when it comes to that big difference, Miami goes from 4th to 2, and Buffalo goes from 2 to 4. Other than that, everything stays the same. Big switch up there. Then we have wide receivers. My wide receiver ranking was Miami 1, Buffalo 2, Jets 3, New England 4. And I was spot on when it comes to midseason ranking, because the Miami Dolphins are number 1. Tyreek Hill, 1,148 yards, 4 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle, 878 yards, 6 touchdowns. Buffalo, Stephon Diggs, 985 yards, 7 touchdowns. Davis, 544 and 5 touchdowns. Jets, Wilson, 521 yards, 2 touchdowns. Davis, 351, 2 touchdowns. And the Patriots, Myers, 457, 3 touchdowns. Devontae Parker, 321 and 1 touchdown. I was spot on with the wide receivers. I don't think any of us are really surprised by how well the Miami Dolphins wide receivers are doing and how poorly the New England Patriots wide receivers are doing. Then we go to the tight ends. With the tight ends, I had Miami ranked 1st. Then I had New England 2nd. I had Buffalo 3rd. And I had the Jets last. Now, when it comes to the midseason, I was wrong on a lot of these. On all of them, I was wrong. It was a complete shakeup from what I thought. The Jets, Conklin, 316 yards, 3 touchdowns. That leads the AFC East, so that's 1st. Miami's 2nd. Gesicki has 269 yards and 4 touchdowns. Buffalo is 3rd. Knox has 240 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the Patriots are 4th. Henry has 240 yards, but only 1 touchdown. So, yeah, I was completely wrong. Jets, I had them 4. They're 1. Miami, I had 1. They're 2. Oh, no, Buffalo stays. I had Buffalo 3. They're 3. But New England goes from 2nd to last. Surprise, surprise there. Then we go to offensive line ranking. Now, I went through PFF because they do have the ranking out up to week 11. And I went through PFF to get the rankings there. And my preseason rankings, I had the New England Patriots 1. I had the New York Jets 2. I had the Buffalo Bills 3, and I had the Miami Dolphins 4th ranked. I know we had the additions, but I didn't know how it was going to pan out. If Armstead could stay healthy, there was a lot of if, ands, or buts, so I had them ranked 4th. When it comes to now at the midseason week 11 point, my New England is 1st. They are 6th ranked in the NFL. Miami is 2nd, 15th ranked. I told you guys, if the Dolphins can be around the teens, mid 15th ranked, I think the Dolphins can win a lot of games. They could be very successful. And the Dolphins right now, going into week 11, are 15th ranked offensive line. 3rd is the Buffalo Bills, 17th ranked. And the New York Jets are 30th. But they have a ton of injuries. Like, the Jets are banged up on their offensive line. So is Buffalo. So, yeah, I nailed it except for Miami and the Jets. You switch those. Pretty good. Now, with the defense, right? I went full-fledged with the defense, talking about secondary, corners, safeties, front 7. Like, I broke it down. At this point, I'm just going to give you a full defensive ranking. I'm not going to give you what I did because again, it was like a bunch of different things. But when it comes to defensive rankings, I'm going to give you the points for, the yards, the pass rush, the pass defense, the rush defense, and turnovers, right? So the Buffalo Bills have the number 1 defense right now. They second in points for, 8th in yards, 14th pass defense, 7th rush defense, and they're 3rd in the NFL in turnovers. The Jets are 2nd. They are 10th in points, 7th in yards, 9th in rush, 9th in pass, 11th in rush, and 8th in turnovers. The New England Patriots are 3rd. They are 6th in points for, 13th in yards, 11th in pass defense, 19th in rush defense, and they are 3rd in turnovers. And unfortunately, the Miami Dolphins are last. They are 22nd in points, 21st in yards, 22nd in pass defense. Rush defense, it says 15th, But if you watch any of it, most of those rushing yards come from the quarterbacks. The Miami Dolphins, when it comes to a head-to-head against running backs, are probably top 5. But they are 15th in rush, and they are 30th in turnovers. They are not as good as they were last year. So I know for a fact I was high on the Dolphins defense, and I thought the Dolphins had a really good defense, especially the front defensive line. But the Dolphins are not where I thought they would be, especially being 4th. They're not doing as well. I will say that the best defense in the AFC is definitely the Buffalo Bills. Jets are definitely second, a very close second. They got a very good secondary in the corners. I thought the Dolphins would have had a better one. Nope. Sauce Gardner's doing fantastic. They got a very good defense and a very good pass rush there. You got to give credit where credit's due. And New England is always New England. Judon's doing his thing. And Miami, I don't know what's going on with Miami. I don't know. Could it be Brian Flores? Could it be whatever? But yeah. So altogether, I'm going to do what I did last time. And essentially what I did was I took all the categories, I put the ranking numbers in, I divided them, got the average, and I gave you my rankings. So right now, as it comes, when pre-season, I had Buffalo 1, Miami 2, New England 3, and the Jets 4th. Now, I have Miami 1, Buffalo 2, the Jets 3, and New England 4th. Kind of like how the standings are right now, except you would switch New England and Buffalo, being that New England beat Buffalo. But coming on here now at the midseason point and telling you that I have the Miami Dolphins ranked 1st in the AFC East is not that outlandish, because the Miami Dolphins are 1st place right now in the AFC East. So I think I had them 2nd. Yeah, I had them 2nd, which wasn't that far off. I got a lot of flack for my rankings. A lot of people, especially, from the opposite teams, were like, no, are you out of your mind? And look at where we're at now. Now, again, I had the Dolphin defense higher, and I was a little more skeptical of our offensive pieces. But, yeah, overall, midseason point, the Miami Dolphins are doing real good. This whole division, we have the AFC East roundtable, fantastic. Love all those guys. I watch them all the time. I'm subscribed. Go subscribe to them. And they talk about it all the time. If the season ended today, all 4 AFC East teams are making the playoffs. The Dolphins would be the 2nd seed, and then literally all of the wild card is the AFC East. That's ridiculous. We have no losing records in the AFC East. That's how good we are. So it's just going to be very interesting going down the stretch. Again, the games on Sunday. If the Jets win, they go into 1st place. I think the Dolphins go to 2nd place. And, you got Buffalo facing Cleveland now in Detroit instead of in Buffalo because of the snow. And if New England loses, they stay in the basement. But if New England wins, then the Jets go down to the 4th place. And then New England, if you're a Miami Dolphins fan, you're rooting for New England, you're rooting for Cleveland. Plain and simple. That's what you're rooting for this weekend. And obviously you're rooting for Kansas City to lose. I think if Kansas City loses, the Dolphins get the 1st seed. But this division's going to be, it's tight. It's all like a 1-game difference. So it's real tight and a really good division. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I have a special video planned for you guys tomorrow. 2 of you great human beings sent me some packages. I already opened them, and Derek and Barry. And I have that video. I already edited it. It's going to be uploaded tomorrow. Some great, fantastic things. You can probably already see the new stuff on the shelves behind me. Especially Super Bowl rings. So you'll see that video tomorrow, and then I think I'll do something cool for you guys on Sunday. But other than that, like usual, guys, stay classy. My friends out.